Just really quick about the assault weapons. If it does pass, will police departments in this state, along with military in this state, have to also abide by the same rules that a citizen would have to abide by?
All the proposals I've seen would exempt police officers in the military.
So they pick and choose who can operate an assault rifle versus what. No, in other words, what he's saying is that one person is able to have this gun and more trusted than the citizen, say, who, I don't know, works at a social worker, teacher. That's what the law would say.
Yeah, that's been the tradition, is to exempt police officers.
And that's not there's no hypocrisy with that at all.
You know,
I just see a little bit of hypocrisy with that. That's all. You know.
Defending us.
I said, okay, you want to exempt yourselves. What about when you're off duty? And they said, no, we want to have it when we're off duty too. To mine, that's like a little extra step. And how many times have we heard about some disgruntled police officer in a terrible divorce going and killing his wife or something like that? So, you know, whatever they end up coming up with, we're going to have to really scrutinize it. By the way, I think we are moving very quickly. They are going to have a bill that's a compromise proposal. But I said, I'm lucky enough that Senator McKinney trusts me enough to be ranking senator on judiciary, and we raised, a half a dozen bills there that is an agglomeration of 97 different proposals. So whatever happens in the month of March, that's the first half of the story. We still have a lot of the story that's going to be written. And what doesn't get put in the compromise bill, I would suggest that there are folks down there in Hartford that probably will be pushing. I don't know whether they'll be successful, but certainly there'll be public hearings on a whole wide range of other things.
I just want to add to what I was saying to you, Jones. I want to add to is that I think you are moving too quick. And the thing is, if it's all these crazy people that are killing people, and none of these bills are going to address that, and I haven't heard much about what's going to address this. You're not doing anything for the next tragedy to come along. But I watched State Rep D'Amelio had a town hall the other day, and I put it up on YouTube. I was watching it. And he had a school teacher there. The guy's a registered Democrat, and he's an NRA member. And one of them asked him, why do you need 15 rounds? Can't you live with 10? And his answer was pretty good. He says, Senator or State Rep, who do you know that wants to live to be 100? And he said, what do you mean? He said, I'll tell you. It's the guy that's 99 years old. He wants to be 100. So taking away 5 bullets or 6 bullets is really not going to do anything for you. And you can see that down in Fort Hood, I think where it was in Texas. He used all handguns down there. So how many did he kill? 18, 20 people down here. Wounded 36 people. I think they have to slow it down a little bit. And this issue of the Second Amendment, believe it or not, is going to be very, very large in this next election. People are watching. Even a lot of Democrats will switch their votes because they're NRA members. And they want the right to bear arms. And again, it's for the militia. And again, if you take away, we can't have an assault weapon, but the cops and the military does, we're at a disadvantage right off the bat because that law is put there. When the British came to invade us and kill us, we fought them off with pitchforks. As we killed them with a pitchfork, we picked up their guns and used them against them because now it made it more level. But I think I'd slow it down a little bit. But all the Republicans in this state have to understand this is going to be a big issue at the next election. It's not going to go away. I think today you had over 3,000 people in Hartford today. Right. Well, they weren't all Republicans.
And look, I think Tom's still here. Tom, I'll always remember Tom because he's wearing the Yankees jacket. Tom said do the right thing. So John Kissel's going to do what he thinks is right for his constituents. I'm going to do what I think is right. If I run for re-election, I'll stand before the voters as I do every 2 years, lay my record out, and this is not my state Senate seat. This is yours, people. So
any bills that aren't going to do nothing to help us in the future with tragedy and mental people.
And all I can tell you is that we have some disagreements about that. I am not going to stand up here and say that the gun laws we passed or ones we may pass, whether I vote for them or not, that I could look at a parent in the eye and say, I can make sure this will never happen again. But nobody could ever do that. Nobody could ever do that. But we can try to use our best efforts to see if we can maybe minimize that from happening in the future. And there are there are a lot of other, you know, gun-related deaths and crimes that happen outside of Newtown, and they're happening every day, and you know, I think all of our goal, whether you agree or not, is to try to eliminate as many of those gun deaths, accidental, suicide, or homicide, as we can, and there's a lot of very strong opinions on both sides. There's no doubt about it, and I have not seen both sides as active as they are this year, and I don't think that's a bad thing.